Oh, welcome to Mitch's mic number 6. I feel like I haven't done these in a little while. I'm going to try to do them as much as I can, but we'll see how often I can actually do that. I now have 2 jobs, so that'll kind of keep me afloat while I'm doing this as well. So this is number 6. I have a lot of changes going on in my life. Number 1, juggling people. Now, so this is going to be weird to hear if you are not like this, and this may be upsetting. I mean, it's upsetting to me in juggling people. So I used to operate as a first come, first serve friend and boyfriend. So I hurt people operating that way because I did not prioritize who was important to me. It was just kind of whoever made plans first, or whoever made some kind of an effort first to get together. So even if my girlfriend wanted to hang out or get together, I wouldn't, because I had already made plans with my friends. And I'm used to making plans with my friends since we've been friends since like kindergarten. So I just kind of think, oh, they're really important to hang on to. And I mean, it's true, but not as much so as a significant other, especially if that person you're thinking as a future marriage, or you're putting in work like they will be a future marriage, because that's like family. That is family at the end of the day. When you're going to try and do that, you should treat them as such. And not to say friends come second, but they do. They're not that they're not that important, because I feel like family, I've talked about this on the Psykicks podcast, but the way priority works for me, and I feel like works in general, is family first. I mean, you take care of yourself first, because if you take care of yourself first, this other stuff just kind of lines up, because you understand what comes next, and the next step being family. So with family comes your significant other as well, and if you treat them like you should, with priority and kind of, I don't want to say urgency, but I mean kind of, it's you, family, and then friends. So it's not necessarily that friends are last, they're actually next. So it's you don't treat your friends as if they're garbage. It's just that they're next. They are extra people in your life that are fun, that are reliable, that are just the people you want to spend your life with outside of your family, because that's crazy cool that we do that as a species. Is we just pick people and go, they're really fun to be around, I'm going to spend time with those people, and that's great. I just think I was spending too much time. I know I was spending too much time. Like I said, first come, first serve is not the way to operate as a human being with your relationships. Like it's just not. I thought it was fine for up until about, what is it now? Probably like 6 months ago. Not even, probably at this point. That's not the way it works. It's just not the way it works. I wish I realized this beforehand, before I hurt people. But I'm trying to fix it now. I am fixing it now. My family life has become so much better, and I'll say trying to patch things up with the significant other that I hurt very, very badly is going well. And I'm in the process of trying to patch things up with the significant other, which obviously has its major challenges, but we'll see how that goes. Small updates all at once. I don't really know if she wants me speaking on this, so I'm going to pretty much keep silent on that for now, or at least very little tidbits. We'll see. So a big thing with being able to understand these things is treating yourself with respect and dignity that you deserve, so you can show other people that. Something my mother said was, you allow people to treat you the way they treat you. So if somebody is constantly taking advantage of you, you're basically allowing that to happen. Now, there are some people who don't recognize those situations because they don't take care of themselves, and that's absolutely me. There were a lot of moments like that in my life that now I'm recognizing and kind of dealing with, and going back and looking through and reflecting on my entire life and going, yeah, I need to not have that happen ever again because I don't deserve that. And it's not an ego thing. It's a loving yourself thing and going, I probably have just this one life to live, right? Why would I go and just wipe it clean? Why would I just go and like, not wipe it clean, but why would I go and just throw it away to let these other people use? It's mine. It's my life. Why would I do that? I wouldn't. So stop. So a lot of this is kind of, in a way, turning a switch on and turning other switches off in your mind. It's hard to do. You have to keep them turned on and off, but it becomes a habit. It becomes habitual where you see the same kind of patterns and you go, no, that's not how I'm going to do that anymore. Or that is how I'm going to do that. I've had to make major decisions and major switches based on heavy habits that I've had for a long time. Mainly the thing is effort. If you keep putting in the effort every day, and it's not even a lot, right? Like, these are subtle changes I'm talking about. They're not crazy. It's not like you have to go out and be like, okay, I gotta hit the gym every day, like for like 2-3 hours. No, most people don't really have time for that kind of a deal. Mainly what it is just a mindset change of going, okay, no, I'm not going to react to these things the same way. I'm not going to react to, especially the superlatives like I talked about in the last episode, where people say always and never, like you always do this, you never do that. Because that's a definitive, it's a superlative. People just assume these things and then it sticks in your mind like it's something that can happen. People can change. They really can. You give them a chance, and people can change. If you take those superlatives as almost a challenge, you turn it around on yourself and you think, oh, I never do that? Well, now I'm always going to do that. Or maybe even the other way around, but not even that, but just try to be more consistent, I guess. It's weird because it depends on the scenario that you're in, but I don't know. I've just been taking care of myself more, and having these 2 jobs at the same time is kind of teaching me that level of responsibility and work ethic that I've had before. I definitely had it in high school, where I would get up every day, go to school, do my work, and get up and go home at the end of the day. And then I would come home and I would be like right onto my music or calling up people, and we would be getting together for band rehearsal or something. And, we would, be playing our Ozzy Osbourne or whatever the fuck we decided to play that day, Metallica, whatever, blah, 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 blah. That's just what I grew up with. But it's mainly that effort, and it is every day. But it is also a subtle change. It's not crazy. It's not crazy. Basically, loving you, love the ones that give you love, and try to give more love than they have given you. It's effort. It's effort. That's all it is. It's being more conscious and mindful of being in the moment. And again, this happens slowly over time. It's, you put in that effort and you realize things, and things click every day. One more thing every day. That's all it takes until you get into this rhythm of, this is really important. Or maybe if it's not important to you, it's important to somebody else. And you go, okay, well, I have to respect that. Just as a human to another human. Communication's kind of the center of it too, just talking to somebody, realizing what you need from each other, whether it's a workplace relationship or an actual relationship. The other day, something happened to a coworker where I said, like, do you need help? And they just kind of looked back at me like, no. And I offended them. I think it was coming from a very capable female who was trying to get something heavy off, but she was struggling with it. So I just offered for my help, and she just kind of gave me the side eye of no. And then was still struggling, and then stopped and looked back and said maybe. So it's not me going, oh, do you need help? Because you're a female trying to get this heavy thing. That I saw her struggling and went, hey, do you need help? I'm right here. Like, I'll just help you with it quick. And it definitely came from the fact of her doing this for a very long time and me being new to the job. But just afterwards, I just kind of made it a point to go like, hey, I was just offering to help because it looked like you were struggling, and I'm here to help anyway, but I'm new. So just made it a point to just bring it up, and it was fine. All was well. If you just kind of bring it up to talk about it, it's fine. Because then there's no questions. It's not like she went and, had a fit over it. We were very civil human beings because if you talk about it, it tends to happen. And then you open up that conversation up into the workplace, and it ends up being better in the long run anyway, because now you have that open dialogue. And if something happens, they're going to feel more comfortable talking about it if it's really an issue for them at really any point. Kind of on the opposite end of this, when people use the phrase like trash when talking about themselves, or, trash, garbage, they're putting themselves down using some kind of term. God, it's the worst for me now. I hate it. It's the worst for me now. I hate it. It's, because I used to say shit like that, but I would, like, joke around, but I said it so much that it feels like the joking's almost real, after a while. And now it's definitely a joke, with myself, just knowing where I'm at now. I'm kind of comfy doing that now without going, like, if it's something like playing a game, something that doesn't really matter, like playing a video game with friends and then just like missing a shot on Counter-Strike and then just laughing it off, just be like, I'm trash, whatever, and then go back into the next round. It's a new round, new day, new scenario. So you just reset. It's weird. Communication, it really is at the center of it, because it's communication even with yourself. Just knowing what's okay with you and what's not okay with you. Yeah, it's respect for yourself and then moving that respect on to other people. Yeah, I've been exhausted from work and everything else. So even finding time to do this right now has been a little bit of a challenge. I just kind of hopped into it. I was like, no, I'm going to do this. And I just kind of hopped in and did this. And I think having a hobby is really, 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 really important for your sanity, especially if you're working a lot and you're working on a relationship. And, or you're in a relationship and you're constantly working, then it's good to have something that you can come back to that's productive for you and therapeutic for you. And I'll say all the time that therapy is extremely important. I feel like anybody could go to therapy and take something away from it that's really good. Even go for like once a week for like 6 months. Just see what happens. Like, I'm not a doctor. And that kind of maybe 6 months, maybe that's a long time. Maybe that's too long. But I wouldn't even say that. It's probably not. It's probably not. You're not going to hurt yourself by doing it. Yeah, I think there's a lot to gain just from talking to a professional, seeing what happens. Even the therapist I see, who when I went in, it was about the second time I went in, just said how my mind's constantly going. I'm an intelligent individual, and just hearing that from somebody who like barely knows you but can evaluate pretty quickly based on a couple key things is absolutely crazy to me. So here comes Mitchell from the future. I have unfortunately lost a lot of this recording, and I figure I'll just put this up anyway. Yeah, Audacity's been like messing up. Also, I've been like interrupted about 30 times while trying to do this. Just this little recording, but I will put this out and have something. I'm gonna try and work more on the Podcomic and the ASMR reviews while I cannot do Psykicks, for the reason of that I now have 2 jobs, and I also forget what has already been in this episode. But going to be trying out some different things, and the Podcomic's probably gonna take like a Pulp Fiction-y turn where I may jump around between characters and angles and things, because for me to concentrate on one area for too long, it just bores me from a creative standpoint. I don't like staying stagnant on one thing for too long, so I will probably end up making a bunch of characters that I will follow through, and we'll see how that goes. So the next ep may not even be a continuation of the last one that's on there, but we'll see where it goes. So I guess that'll be it for me for now. So guys, stay happy, stay healthy, drink plenty of water, and make good decisions.